Good morning, third grade. Today I would like to go over problem solving 9.1. The first problem says Lewis skates 2/3 mile from his home to school. Isabella skates 2/4 mile to get to school. Who skates further? Well, the dilemma is that 2/3 is different than 2/4. Now, they're each part of a mile, so what I did was draw 1-mile models, and I broke Lewis's path into thirds and Isabella's path into fourths, fourth section. Then I colored 2/3 in for Lewis's path and 2/4 in for Isabella's path. Now the question was, who skates further? So obviously, Lewis skates further. Now, you can also think of it as taking a pie and cutting it into thirds and taking another pie and cutting it into fourths. Would you rather have 2 pieces of the pie that's cut into 3 pieces or 2 pieces of the pie that's cut into 4 pieces? I'm sorry, that noise was my dog walking by, so I wanted to wait to finish until he was done walking by. He's laying down now. That's Thor. Number 2 says, Sandra makes a pizza. She puts mushrooms on 2/8 of the pizza. She adds green peppers to 5/8 of the pizza. Which topping covers more of the pizza? Well, I drew 2 models, 2 pizzas, both cut into 8 pieces. As you can see, 2/8 is much smaller than 5/8, so the topping that covers more pizza is green peppers. 5/8 is larger than 2/8. Number 3 says, the jars of paint in the art room have different amounts of paint. The green paint jar is 4/8 full. The purple paint jar is 4/6 full. Which paint jar is less full? Again, I made 2 cans of paint, and then I broke the first one up into 6 and the second one up into 8s. As you can see, the can that is broken up into 8s has much smaller sections. So 4 of those are much smaller than the 4 sections of the can that's broken up into 6. Again, if your mother bakes a pie and she cuts it into 6ths, and then she bakes another pie and she cuts it into 8ths, wouldn't you rather have 4 pieces of the pie that's cut into 6ths with the bigger pieces than 4 pieces of the pie that's cut into 8ths with the smaller pieces? Now, our question says, which paint jar is less full? Well, the green paint jar is the one that was 4/8 full, and this is the green one, so green is less full. Number 4 says Jan has a recipe for bread, and she uses 2/3 cup of flour and 1/3 cup of chopped onions. Which ingredient does she use more of? Well, same size cup, 2/3 flour, 1/3 onion. She obviously uses more flour than onion, which I think would be a good thing in bread. Edward walked 3/4 of a mile home from his home to the park. Then he walked 2/4 mile from the park to the library. Which distance is shorter? Well, I drew 2 lines and broke both of the lines into fourths. 3/4 is this far, and 2/4 is that far. Oops. 3/4 is that far, and 2/4 is that far. So, which distance is shorter? From the park to the library is shorter. 2/4 is smaller than 3/4 by 1/4. Allie and Jonah collect seashells in identical buckets. When they are finished, Allie's bucket is 2/6 full, and Jonah's bucket is 3/6 full. Which of the following correctly compares the fractions? 3/6 is greater than 2/6. Rosa paints a wall in her bedroom. She puts green paint on 5/8 of the wall and blue paint on 3/8 of the wall. Which of the following correctly compares the fractions? 5/8 is greater than 3/8. Dan divides a pie into 8s. How many equal parts are there? Well, if he divides it into 8s, there has to be 8 equal parts. Which shows equal parts? B, that is cut up into 6 equal parts, shows 6 equal parts. These are not broken up into equal parts. Charles places 30 pictures on his bulletin board in 6 equal rows. How many pictures are in each row? Well, 6 times 5 equals 30. Which of the following describes a pattern in the table? Well, our table goes 1 to 5, 2 to 10, 3 to 15. So 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15. So they're multiplying by 5. This is the end of lesson 9.1. I will also do a lesson today for lesson 9.2, but I thought it necessary to go over the word problems from yesterday. Thank you.